Okay, Charles LeBlanc here, and Andre Faust, and we're going to have a little chat. Just came from the court thing this morning. Before I start, listen, idiot, you want a cigarette? I'll get the ashtray.
Yeah, give me a cigarette, please.
Where's your smokes?
Just gotta get them.
Yeah. There's some idiots that cannot talk or think if they don't have a smoke.
I like your overuse of the adjective idiot.
No, you are an idiot.
You use that so strategically.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
Happy birthday. Have another cigarette and die early.
And next year, well,
you won't be around. You won't be around. You won't be around next year. Keep on smoking. No, I love you, Myra. But anyway,
I gotta find my lighting implement.
See, you even become senile. The effect of smoke affects the brain.
No, it's the cold. I have no cold.
Listen, look. I got one here.
Okay.
Here. Come on. You have ADHD or something when it comes to Asperger's with...
Thank you very much, Charles. You're a gentleman.
Yeah, ADHD, Asperger's with cigarette. Then they turn into ADHD. Okay, never mind. So, this morning I went to court. It didn't turn out the way that I expected. I expected to... I wasn't ready. And just for the record, we have booklets here. I'll show you the booklets afterward. And I showed up in court, and because I wasn't ready, because November 8th, the Edmonton police, they tackled me. So we had a judge, Paulette Garnett. Oh my God, that was... And then I was shocked, right? So I have a mental illness. I were out to use that on my advantage, whatever. But you know, I get distracted. What a distraction when she came in and asked everybody for their cell phone.
Yeah, that was unusual. I've never seen that before in a courtroom. I don't know if that's a new policy or is that just her. But it was everyone. Police, poor men, beggar men. It was a blanket. She asked it from everybody. You see
lawyers having their laptop, and she even took mine.
Yeah, no, that was...
I don't know.
You know, if there would have been somebody from, you know, a notorious CBC tweeter, they wouldn't have been able to tweet what was going on.
No, that's right. That's another thing. So, that's right. I never thought about that. So anyway, I brought the issue up. I went to court Friday for an amendment to have 3 other people to testify. And they said, well, you asked the judge Monday. Oh, okay, I did. I started saying, you know, right quick. So I said, I began the lawsuit. There had been troubled time in my life. I began the lawsuit in 2014. Then came the assault with the idiotic so-called poet. That was a distraction for about 1.5 years. I was found not guilty last summer. And we had a couple of hearings. One delay of a week because my friend Myra died. And her wake was that day. And on November 8th, I was tackled by 2 cops from Edmonton. Then she cut me off. And this has nothing to do with the person bully. This is Edmonton police. And then
she said they weren't parties to your action, which is correct. They weren't parties to your lawsuit. I mean, they're parties to others, but not to the lawsuit.
But I told her that the same police officers that I'm suing or whatever involved in this, they're the same one involved with the lawsuit. So she just ran right quick and said, we're going to proceed. I thought she'll take 5 minutes to address. And I even asked her if she knew the history between me and the police. I don't have the internet at home. I don't watch TV. I don't, my God, they said, she doesn't do anything. But, okay, a judge has to remain neutral.
In my opinion, I was very impressed when she said that. You know, I gave her an A++ rating on that, showing on how she focuses on how important impartiality is for her. You know, that clearly, you know, got that point across.
So, then it came, immediately they called my friend, idiot, Fred Wuzzle, the one that touched my balls. But anyway, he said that they were focusing on the bicycle, the bicycle, the bicycle. Oh, that's another thing. So they said that I never touch him. He said that. He touched me twice. Once, you see on the camera, he touched the camera. Can we have a videos to show video? Nope, no videos are allowed in the civil suit. She wouldn't allow videos. But is it me that didn't explain myself properly?
Yes, that's the problem with self-representation. You don't know what the rules of the game are. In that particular situation, you didn't successfully articulate the relationship between how the two were connected. So she's seen that as a separate idea. And that's why she came out with what she said.
Even though the video were mentioned by the police, I mentioned it 4 or 5 times during the thing that we're not allowed to show a video. We're not allowed to show a video, and it's,
I'm just going to backtrack a bit. I was confused.
Oh, by the way, thanks for being there.
You're very welcome. I was confused right from the beginning. I thought the case has strictly to do with the misrepresentation of the facts when they made the application, when they requested the internet service provider saying that you were exploiting children, so that they could get your MAC address and your IP address.
I, Detective Rob Castello, a peace officer, in accordance with my duties and authority as a peace officer, I am conducting a criminal investigation relating to a child sexual exploitation offense.
Now, that is what I thought your case was going to be. My interpretation, sitting in the gallery, was it sounded more like it was an argument in regards to one when they arrested you for not wearing a helmet and driving on the sidewalk, and your case of 300 and 301. There was very little that was mentioned about the misrepresentation of information, because at the end of the day, they got that information that they could not have otherwise have gotten had they said they were investigating you for
defamation.
For defamation.
Libel.
You know, I won't speculate on what the intentions of the police was at that. The bottom line was they provided an error, and I would say somebody screwed up, because if it is a bad case and cut and paste, then doesn't somebody check their work before they hand it in? But like I say, very little was said, and that's your case. Is they lied to the internet provider.
Yeah, we know that. We know that for years. So what I did, I asked them. I said, "Are you ready, Mr. LeBlanc, I'm going to proceed?" I got 5 booklets like this. I thank you for the man from Moncton to help me to go through all this. And I said, well, so the first cop was, oh, boy, do I have lots of questions for him. Why did he touch my balls? But anyway, I know you can't say it like that in a court of law, but he did. See, I'm French. I have big balls. Anyway, maybe that's the problem. I'm too close. So I mean, I got more big balls than big balls in here to do what I'm doing. Never mind. Off limits.
I remember an old AC/DC song called "Big Balls." He's got big balls. He's got big balls. So Charles got the biggest balls of all.
Yeah, the Scottish side. Anyway, the bottom line is they said, "Okay, Mr. LeBlanc, you want to cross-examine Wezzo?" And I couldn't even get a recess. There was 1, and there was 4 other people that was in the courtroom, supporters, and I thank them very much. 1, 2, 3, yeah, about 4. That's good. And couldn't even ask for a recess. The pressure was put right on me. So, do you cross-examine, and your stuff, all the papers are home, because you don't expect there would be a trial, especially when the 2 cops. You could. Anything you say would be used when there's an investigation The case is at the Attorney General office. An outside force is investigating this. So I couldn't say anything because that was incriminate me in the case. So I never said nothing. I got no questions. And the second one, I have no question. Then suddenly we had a recess. And I was told it was a good idea, keep doing what I'm doing, and we're going to appeal it.
Well, you know, the way that I think, you know, we can't answer that until that day comes.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because again, you know, as we've learned from experience, the more we know, the better we can predict the outcome. But as of today, there's not enough information available to, you know, do an analysis and a prediction.
But the message was a strong message. If you put a lawsuit against the police and you're a social assistant or mental illness, the police can go after you in a criminal way. That was proven today. The judge wasn't concerned at all.
Well, you know, I'm going to strip away, you know, saying, you know, because they're on welfare and on social assistance. What I will say is that, you know, the law is, like, I believe in the justice system. I think the system is about the best that we can get.
Oh, Danny Waters said right. It's just the goddamn humans that's running it.
But it's determined on wealth. You have a good case. You brought up this point here is in your case is that you have a potential. There's a potential that charges are going to be laid against you, and the two are related because of the misrepresentation of information to the
internet provider.
So that connects the two. And you nailed it when you said, if I say anything here in trying to argue this case, those words could be used against me in the criminal proceeding. You also explained to the judge very well that, and you laid out the chronology of it when things happened. When you filed this motion, that was before the November, I forget the exact date.
November 8th, where Donald Trump was elected president that evening.
You know, up to that point, and we all thought that after the Bernard Richard report, that this was over, under the bridge, life goes on, and whatnot. So you made a decision to initiate this lawsuit based on the information that you had at that time. You thought it was done and over. Had you have known that this was going to develop, that they were going to later charge you, you wouldn't have initiated this lawsuit.
They never charged me before. I mean, never charged me yet. But so they did grab me. I don't know what the hell. Oh, anybody wants to know, go to YouTube, write Edmundston Police and Charles LeBlanc. You'll see what happened on November 8th.
So you know, given that, and that was kind of, that kind of threw I thought the judge kind of didn't understand fully how those two were connected. But again, this comes back. You're not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. You know, I'm good on analysis.
You sure are.
But the thing is that a person who is self-representing themselves don't know the rules of the court, don't know.
So what she say? Pre-trial?
A pre-trial brief.
I don't even know what that is.
You know, essentially, it's just you know, your description and the rationale.
But I never said a word during the trial, so why the hell would I give a pre-trial brief? Doesn't make sense.
Well, normally, backing the clock is when you file an action as such, both parties, we're talking civil here, we're not talking criminal, both parties submit. But on pre-trial, one of the other things that I found unusual is that, again, you being a layperson, like most people out in the public when it comes to a civil suit, no one knows that, you know, they can ask for an examination for discovery. Either the defendant or the plaintiff, either one, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, either parties has. No one ever mentioned that to you, so you didn't have that option to pull together an examination for discovery, which is something like a preliminary hearing, but not quite.
But they did screw themselves. I mean, for what my focus is on telling my internet provider that I was exploiting children for sex.
Yes.
I never mentioned this once because I never spoke once because I refused to ask any question that will be held against me in what's going on now. But they did talk about this.
But one of their witnesses did.
Bobby Simmons.
And that,
she gained weight.
And that, well, this is not about...
Not about, am I being a male chauvinist pig? My gosh, she gained weight. I think there's too much Tim Horton here. Anyway, never mind, okay. There's no editing here. I mean, she called me a pedophile, so anyway.
And that, you know...
I'm allowed to say that she gained weight.
You know,
what they call cops? Pigs? Boy, I'm really pushing the envelope, huh?
When I was a young feller, I used to use that quite often, but, you know...
Just for the record, I used to respect the police. I was one of the biggest fans. Okay, never mind that. We're going off
subject.
So, the 301, the exploitation, they brought it up.
Yes, and... You know, and she articulated, if I can quote, the thing is, no, I'll paraphrase it because I don't think I can repeat it verbatimly, but basically she conveyed that it was a big, bad cut and paste error. Now,
A what and paste?
Cut and paste.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, mistakes are made, but there was, what, 2 or 3 others that were done.
Yeah, 2.
And then, I mean... Police are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain standard of care that they should have.
Yeah.
So I asked, okay, you made a mistake, but wasn't there somebody to, you know, to check over your work? I know when I write something that, you know, that's is serious and I'm going to present it, you know, like the case that I've been working over the last 1.5 years onto, I've now sent that up for a peer review to have my work checked. But they didn't do that. They
were looking for child porn. They went fishing.
Well, you know...
They went fishing. That's the bottom line. They came here, they say he lives alone, he takes pictures, he has to be into child porn. 1 naked picture out of 350,000 pictures. 1 naked picture, we wouldn't be having this conversation here.
Okay, you know, point accepted, but let me kind of break that down. It's one thing, you start out with a speculation. From your speculation, you develop your theory or hypothesis, and then you go to prove your hypothesis. You can't jump from speculation
never mind the last burgers we got that day. It's okay. So, bottom line, then they want closing arguments tomorrow morning, 9:30. I mean, I'm not going to say anything. Why am I going to start talking about closing arguments that, oh, they should have never done this, exploiting children, this is a poor example, blah, 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 blah. Why would I say that when I never said a word during the trial?
Well, you know, I can't comment, you know, whether your decision was a good decision or a bad decision. But what I can say is that when you elected not to question for the reasons that we earlier mentioned, the rules of the game all changed at that point.
Yeah, it did.
Now it's a whole different, game. It's a whole new chessboard.
Yeah, it is.
And that's how it has to be treated at. You know, it ended when you chose that avenue.
You think I did right?
Yeah, personally, I think you did right on the point that what you can, in the process of defending yourself, you could give the opposition the artillery to use against you in a criminal court.
Yeah.
I think you were pushed against the corner. You were boxed in.
Happened fast too.
It happened quick, and it has the possibility that, you know, this may, you know, open up some other legal questions that the legal academics may be interested into of that you know, of that point.
I think they'll ask for the transcript of that trial.
So, like I said, that the connection is in most cases, usually a criminal matter and the civil are really, really different. But in your case, there's an overlap, and as we've already, not to repeat, as what was already mentioned, and if you forgot, just back to video, and you know, we mentioned it, is that you saying anything could jeopardize yourself down the road if they
pursue, and that's 5 years. 5 years in jail.
And
5 years in jail. I couldn't take the chance. Sorry.
well, you know.
Listen, where's your website?
Which one?
Name one.
My business one. That's at jafaust.com.
Faust.
jafaust.com. Actually, on that site there.
Left eye.
Well, I'll speak about jafaust.com because I did create a page that if you want to know what kind of information that you give out on the internet, go to the link. If you go to the page, it's under the banister. Who am I?
What's the site again?
That's jafaust.com.
Listen, you're a smart guy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're in ways. I'm going to ask you a question. We've been talking here maybe 15, 20 minutes. How many people do you think are still listening to this bullshit?
My dog.